presentation of TFNN. The Tom O'Brien Show is produced every business day. Tom takes your phone calls toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Let's go to our man Al in Homosassa. What's going on, brother?
Isn't it wonderful? I went ahead and invested in your Tiger dollars, and I went ahead and got the gold report for a year, and also your call letter and stuff like that. And I got over a 50% return in one day, not counting everything else. But I just want to thank you. Tom's not perfect, but he tells you how to put your stops in, and he keeps your losses small. You can take your small losses, but then all of a sudden you'll be like Babe Ruth, and you'll hit a home run. I mean, a big home run.
Yeah.
And put the money in your pocket.
Okay, brother. You're awesome, man. Thank you.
Now, Tom O'Brien.
Welcome, folks. Tommy O'Brien coming to you live from TFNN, 3:07 p.m. Eastern Time, final hour of the trading day. And we got markets charging higher as President Trump says he's open to talks. We ease some of the concerns, but we're actually higher than where we were on Friday. That news, of course, in terms of the EU and potential 30%. But so far, that's not the case. You jump over the headline. Trump says he's open to trade talks, and yeah, stocks rise. And that's the case there. And you're talking about potentially 30% rate on Mexico and the EU. That headline hit. And yeah, we were talking about it in the den. But nonetheless, he eases off a bit. But August 1st is coming. But the market not recognizing that risk in one way at all. We got the S&Ps up by 12. NASDAQ 100 or up by 90. You take a look at this market right now. We're 23 points away from all-time highs that we made on Thursday now on volume. All right, let's take a look at this volume. We're going to start on daily. Back it up again. There we go. Now, Friday's day, okay, you did 1.05 million, and that was coming into 1.09, but we did get above there. Okay, that high, you only got above there at 888, but these are all the highs. We've been at this price level in terms of where we are. You jumped above that 62.50 price point July 3rd. Now, remember, yields were doing some funky stuff when we were approaching the 62.50 mark. We were at 4.19 on July 1st. And as yields have risen dramatically, okay, you have seen a slight increase in terms of dollar strength off that level. All things considered, though, we're just back to the lows of April 21st. Okay, and we're just back to the lows of June 12th. So the dollar's got a lot of work to do to break through this area. And this could easily be a little bit of a head fake, and I'm trying to wrap my brain around it in terms of yields right now. But there's going to be a lot of pressure on yields. I mean, it's remarkable that you go to, is it Bloomberg? I've been jumping around. No, maybe it's going to be the Wall Street Journal. One of them out here. I think it is going to be the Journal. They're talking about the Fed everywhere, and they should be. I'll pull it up. There's a lot of articles talking about, maybe it's CNBC. It's probably CNBC, because that's going to be clickbait. Yeah, it is CNBC. Why not? Get the Powell one, right? Here's the front page of CNBC.com. You got Powell out here, asks Inspector General to review $2.5 billion renovation after the Trump blast the Fed. The only point here is that rates are in focus, okay? Powell's in focus. The pressure is on for the president to get some cuts. Well, rates just rose 25 basis points in 14 days. Well, guess what? You start going out 3 or 6 months, there is going to be some pressure to cut. And that's going to be higher price, right? Lower yield. And we'll see how the dollar reacts. But the dollar hasn't broken out just yet. All we're doing is bumping up against this 98 area. But we have caught a bid as we've jumped a full 25 basis points, man, on that 10-year. From 4.19 to about 4.44 as of this morning. And yeah, the VIX is giving it up. We were elevated this morning, not so much right now. As you're trading at 1709, still well above where we were on Friday. But no real fear in this market, sitting at just under 17, just about at 17. Okay, and then you jump into Russia. So EU and Mexico, the tariff potential there with the business that we would do with them. But boy, you talk about the political pressure. Trump raises pressure on Russia with a tariff threat, Ukraine weapons deal, and yeah, you're talking about 100% is the number that I saw out there. Trump threatened Monday to increase economic pressure on Moscow if there's no peace deal within 50 days. There's a lot of deadlines out there looming. Okay. Let's jump around to some of the equities. So the chip stocks this morning, right? It was quite a sell-off, and then they got it all back by about 11 a.m. this morning. We're approaching the lower part of this consolidation we've been in since 11 a.m. right now. You see NVIDIA trading at 164.61, 164.50 is the lower part of that. But boy, that was some selling, and no matter where you go in the chicks, NVIDIA charged lower. You had AMD actually above where they were to open, yet you traded down by 2% on the open. Oracle spiked to 225. All these equities, just remarkable how you got that dip buying coming in. Even companies like Dell, you jump around 124 to 126. Yeah, Salesforce, not so much. All right, we jump around to Apple because there was some selling on Apple, that's for sure. Look at this. Apple still down by 1% right now. Let's take a look at Apple on the daily. Yeah, let's clear that one out. All right, we got a nice sign of strength around the 200 area when we traded up to 207.39. We're coming back to test that area, though. And look at how the volume's waned since then. And you're somewhat into this bar when they come out with their earnings. So that's what's looming as well, right? You get their earnings from May 2nd. Look at this on Apple. Gap lower. You do 101 million shares that day. And you're struggling to get above this bar. You're coming into that full gap. Take a look at the volume on Amazon. Yeah, nice sign on Friday. Back this thing up because we're not at all-time highs just yet. You are bumping in to this bar from June 27th on Amazon when you just did monumental volume. What, 100 million plus? Back it up. It's got some good volume on the weeklies. Look at this Amazon volume. June 23rd, you do 277 million shares. You're coming into 277. Wow, 277.1 versus 277.5. Basically the same exact volume. You get above that area, you get above the recent highs, and that's some decent follow-through last week. You do 251 million, lighter though. You're coming into when we did 244. All right, folks, stay tuned. We got markets right near records. S&P's up by 12 points. We're coming back with our man Steve Rhodes. Don't go away.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
Welcome back, folks. We got the S&Ps up by 11 right now. All the markets in the green. And right now we're going to talk to our man, Steve Rhodes. And, folks, you can check out Steve's outstanding daily newsletter, Mastering Probability, right under the newsletter tab on TFNN. Every newsletter, folks, comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. It's only $149 a month, and you get, well, I always say it every time we talk to Steve, I think it's like 9 or 10 webinars. 7 extraordinary workshops is what you get in there, folks. Check it out. You can watch all those during the 30 days, and you get Steve's updates every morning and afternoons when warranted as well. Steve Rhodes, good afternoon.
How you doing today?
I'm doing well, man. How was your weekend?
Good.
Good.
That's crazy. I'm getting an echo. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine. I apologize. Yeah, but I can hear you fine. Cool. Everything sounds good, I think, and I got no echo, so I think we're good to go if as long as you're okay.
Yeah, no problem. Absolutely. So, kind of interesting. Generally speaking, you were talking about the dollar rates and so forth, and
sure.
So what I thought that we would do today is talk about King Dollar.
Okay, here we go.
And a little about gold. So this way, this will provide you with some additional things to consider. Nice. Your analysis about what the U.S. dollar is doing and everybody else that is out there. So the first place that I wanted to start was just simply kind of more of a fundamental aspect, so that because I want to tie the fundamental into the technical picture that we're taking a look at. So this is a snapshot that I took off of the FRED database out there, and it shows that the U.S. monetary base as of June 24th was about $6 trillion, $5.6 trillion. So in essence, they're saying that is the float of money in the market. Now, the interesting thing there, and I don't have that printed on this, but people can do just a quick Google search, and what they'll find is that the estimate by the Federal Reserve or Bank of International Settlements or different organizations out there, they say that somewhere between 50 to 70% of U.S. dollars are held overseas. Okay. And in that case, a lot of that is really in the pillows kind of stuff, under the mattress. And that's because of the people that have lived throughout Europe through their lives have seen currencies canceled. If you travel overseas, there's not a country that I've traveled to, and I've been to many, many countries where you can't take a U.S. dollar and buy goods with it. Yet, you try to, be in the U.S. and try to pay for your dinner with euros or yen, it's not going to happen. But sure. I've personally done it, in travel. So, in any event, the Bank of International Settlements, they also estimate that there's $120 trillion worth of U.S. dollars, U.S. debt that's out there. Now, of that $120 trillion, and your dad will love this, They estimate that $18 trillion of loans have been denominated in U.S. dollars issued by foreign countries or corporations. In other words, you're in Europe, you want to raise capital. So where do you come to? You come to the center of capital, which is U.S. dollars, and you issue debt denominated in U.S. dollars. So, is that a big deal? Well, why does it matter? This is a chart that shows the euro versus the U.S. dollar. I flipped it. And so that people can understand, if we go back to 2008, which is when the U.S. dollar bottomed out here. If we take a look at what it cost back in 2008 to buy a dollar, that was 63 cents. So if you just take a look at the bottom line out there, you'll see it's 63 pennies, 63.6341 euros bought $1. Fast forward to this afternoon, and it's 85 cents. So in other words, if we issued a debt denominated U.S. dollars and we're over in Europe, we've got to come up with dollars. Well, the way that we do that is we convert our euros to dollars out there. And so it's cost now 34% more to service the debt, to pay back the principal. That is a gigantic thing that people need to understand. That's just the euro. If you take a look at the dollar versus many other currencies, it is substantially significantly different, where it's way more than 34%. It's like 100% out there. So, it's important to understand. So you figure we've got, in essence, $3 to $6 trillion chasing after 18 trillion. Because there's 18 trillion unless those foreign companies are going to default on their debt, they've got to come up with that money. And so it's going to keep King Dollar alive and well for a long time. Anybody that's saying that the dollar is dead just doesn't understand the basic fundamentals. Right, and I get that. It's you got to pull this data together, to try to understand it. And here during the show, we are, or at least for myself, I'm typically taking a look at technical patterns. So let's take a look at the technical pattern. Here's the U.S. dollar from a quarterly standpoint. And I've drawn in here the A to B equals CD pattern to the upside. I've drawn the exact candle. It's a quarterly time frame that we're looking at that identified the sell the D point top. What that has led to over these quarters is nothing more than a sideways consolidation. And we just tested, and at this stage here, we've rejected the bottom of that consolidation. I've also drawn in a little bit of a descending price channel line out there. So both those have kind of met at the exact same area. So very much a potential for a bottom inside the U.S. dollar. If I take the U.S. dollar daily chart, that's over the upper left-hand corner here. A little bit hard to see, but you can see at 97.31, the numbers in red. That's the top of the daily profile, in which we were trading at 97.81. We're somewhere near there, I'm sure, right now. We're generating a daily profile change in trend. That's a bullish signal out there. We've got the monthly, which is the lower left. We just kind of went through that, testing this descending trend line out there, combined with what we saw on a quarterly basis. And then if we take a look at if I take a look at the U.S. dollar on an annual basis, this is kind of an interesting pattern here. If we come back to that 2008 bottom, what we're going to, so the numbers, the data on the bottom reflect consecutive years higher and consecutive years lower with regard to closes. But what's interesting is that since the bottom in 2008, what we've seen here is 1, 2, 3, 4 single years where we had retracements, and then the market moved higher from there. Well, where are we in 2025? Guess what? We've got another one of those potentially 1 year retracements. So my take on this is that until the pattern fails, it works. And at this stage here, I'm looking for a bottom inside the U.S. dollar index. Well, shoot, we just went through the U.S. dollar index showing at the bottom of consolidation, bottom of a channel line, a daily profile change in trend, and here if we take a look at the weekly time frame chart, we've got one of my Rhodes momentum indicator bottoms. So it's one of the workshops that subscribers can go through to understand that pattern. That helps us to identify tops and bottoms. So this is suggesting that the bottom may in fact be in. So if the dollar bottom is in, what's that mean for gold? And I think that's a great question, because when you take a look at these charts here, I've got the yearly chart, monthly chart, weekly chart, daily chart. They all have either TD9 count or Rhodes momentum indicator tops. So we've got gold potentially topping at the same time that the U.S. dollar index is bottoming. Our focus on gold, though, no matter what, should be on the price point of $35.39.30. That is the April 22nd high. If price closes above that, it's going to negate all of these topping patterns on the daily, weekly, monthly, depending on when the actual close takes place out there, but it could negate all of these topping signals, and then that would suggest that even though the U.S. dollar index is going to move higher, so too will gold. And we've seen plenty of times where that has unfolded. In fact, if we take a look at it's important to pay attention to the geopolitical news. This chart here, if you take a look at gold's real rise, it really began, Tommy, in earnest on that attack on Hamas on October 7th. I've got the Russian annexation of Crimea back in 2014. That really didn't do much to gold. I've got Russia invading Ukraine over here. That didn't do much to gold. So it's important to pay attention to these geopolitical events. Last thing, gold topped in all of the Middle Eastern currencies on the exact same day. So time to be paying attention to that. So that's my take on the U.S. dollar.
I love it, man. Dollar at 98.09, and yeah, some dollars in yields, right? Huge right now. Steve, thanks so much for the education. Great numbers, man. Tommy. We appreciate it. Look forward to the show tomorrow.
Take care.
Take care. Folks, check them out. Trader's Edge tomorrow at 11 o'clock.
Attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
This portion of the Tom O'Brien Show is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Welcome back, folks. We got markets in positive territory. Meta, Facebook, up by... We're going to have to stop calling them Facebook eventually. They are Meta. And I always think of Facebook, but we're not going to be Facebook pretty soon in terms of what they're doing here. Meta, they're up by 0.5% right now, $3.44. We get back some of it, but Bloomberg out here with an interesting piece, and it's just talking about what Zuckerberg's talking about. They're going to build gigawatt-sized data centers. Yeah, how about it? We're calling the first one Prometheus. It's coming online in 26. He wrote on a post on his social platform Threads, we're building multiple more Titan clusters. And yeah, a gigawatt is 750,000 houses. Yeah, they call it 900 in here. While most data centers today house only hundreds of megawatts, several gigawatts, 900. I think 1 gigawatt is 750,000. So Zuckerberg is saying that Meta is on track to be the first with a supercluster that houses more than a gigawatt of capacity. The first. The rise is on, man. It's very difficult to imagine where the future is going to be when these are all coming online. They're not online right now. They are to a degree, right? But boy, the CapEx, the spend, the advancement, the AI. Take a look at Meta. Look at that, how we touched that area. You got to have, as you'd say, spikes up on your back when you're long on Meta. Okay, if you're long and you just got it in retirement and you're holding it, that's one thing. You're trading this thing and you're bumping up against this area. Now, when we were last up here, you trade to this area on 82 and 67 million shares. Look at this. We just did it. I just told you we were coming into those highs, and look how it went down. You do 120 on their earnings week in January. You do 82 million the week of February 3rd. 67 million the week after that, and then you give it up, right? The volume wanes, you give it up. We come in with 66 million. Nothing compared to the 120 or the 82, and just in line with when we gave it up, and that was the expansion of 66. We do it again on 66. Now, you can't count the 46 million because that was only 3.5 days. And there wasn't that much selling last week. But that's a little bit of a dicey area. You're going to need more volume to break above this area, just in the same way that you broke above when you come into their earnings. And maybe they're going to have earnings in a couple weeks. So that's going to be a make or break at a critical area of all-time highs. You have a breakthrough there, and this becomes a 382. This is a monthly. Boy, that would take you, man. You talk about a mind blower if that's the case. You could just back it up. That'd be from about $90 to what, $740? You're talking about $650 off $500, $1150. Man. But yeah, it was a straight shot. Pull back to the 382. We test the highs of that early acceleration in 2024, and then we take off to the upside again. And, you know, I think it's a brilliant move, him buying 3 to 5% of Luxottica, because wearables are there. He knows it. Okay? Think about it the other day, the iPhone. I was thinking about this the other day. Just thinking about, man, you know, one area where you're first to market, and here you are, right, 2 decades later, as still the most expensive company in the world for a while. They've lost that crown, okay, to NVIDIA. But Apple. And wearables are going to be a lot more integrated in the same way, so he's focusing on the metaverse. And this is somebody who owns Meta for retirement, okay? So that's the bull pitch. But yeah, I don't think our brains can comprehend where we're going to be. I'd say 5 years for sure, but this could be a year or two. ChatGPT blows you away, right? Let's take a look at Microsoft on a weekly basis. All right, some decent volume last week.
Nothing too crazy, though, because we did 79 million shares in 3.5 days, and you only did 93 million in 5 days. Put it back to a daily. Yeah, okay. We make those highs with volume. There's that Wednesday you accelerate to all-time highs, and you do it with the most volume we've seen over like the last 10 days or so. So Microsoft remains very strong as well. Jump over to NVIDIA. Remarkable volatility when you look at it intraday, right? From the highs of Friday to the lows of today, this morning, you're talking about almost a $200 billion market cap swing. We're rolling over a little bit. All right, we got some selling coming in. Okay. For you bears out there, you know, this is how the market started south this morning when you got that rip lower. This is the most selling we've seen. All right, we got 24 minutes left to go in the day. See if the bears can get something going. We got some selling right now in NVIDIA. You jump over the other chip stocks, not so much. AMD slightly lower. We're checking on Intel, off by about 0.8%. All right, so we get some earnings coming up. We get the banks coming up this week. Checking on the banks. JP Morgan up by about 0.5% right now. Bank of America, similar, up about 0.5%. Wells Fargo in the green by 0.9%. Citi up by 0.6%. Checking on Netflix. There you go, Netflix up by 1.5. Let's take a look at this thing. Yeah, I was talking about this morning. Just the remarkable acceleration this equity has had. It's been a one-way trip since June of 2022. You ever get a 382 pullback on this thing, it'll shock and awe people. That'd be $900. You'd almost go back to the lows of where we were in April. Okay, on a volume basis, we're drying up on a monthly. Let's take a look at the weekly. So you accelerate out of their earnings and with equities following late April. Some nice strand of strength up till about 1,200. But look at that selling we got on Friday. Last week. Probably looking to come back and test that $1,200 at least area, which is the area from May 12th when you accelerated higher. Netflix shares right now, though, up by 1.5%. Checking on Warner Brothers Discovery. Yeah, there you go. You know, this thing wasn't moving on the open. Breaks on the open. That Superman movie, man. You're talking about almost $250 million. Basically, the entire budget on opening weekend. That's got to be nice, right? You produce a movie for $250 million. You take it all in on opening weekend. Market's up by 9. We're coming right back, folks.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors. For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched The Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Tom O'Brien.
Welcome back, folks. We have the S&Ps up by 8 points right now, and at a critical technical area in terms of that 63.10 price point. We just rolled over a bit. That's where we were on Friday as well. That's where we were overnight coming in Friday morning. But nonetheless, markets persist. Positive by 8 points right now in the S&Ps. All right, we jump to it. What else we have going on in this market? So we talked a little bit of Russia. Yeah, in New York politics, they're going to be wild. They're already wild, and Cuomo's in the race as well. As if that race could get any more attention. Get ready, New York City. All right, so this one is cool. I'll give a little poker update. Talked about it this morning. I'll bring it up briefly. But first woman to make the World Series of Poker main event final table in 30 years. And what's remarkable is this is really the first person to make the final table, though, since poker even caught a huge acceleration in terms. I think Moneymaker was like 2001, potentially. And so 95, they didn't advertise the whole cards. It was Barbara Enright. And so nonetheless, maybe there'll be a little bit of acceleration with females in poker. But she makes the final table. They're playing for $10 million up top is what they're playing for, man. And you got to get lucky to be one of the final 9 of 9,700 players, folks. So nothing wrong with that. You don't think any of these players get lucky no matter how good you are. And so they take a day off today. And you can see how many tournaments are going on right now in the World Series? These are all events. They have 100+ events going on. They have the $10,000 main event, but they have a $25,000 horse tournament. Horse is 5 games. Hold'em, Omaha, Raz, Stud, and I believe it's Stud 8 or better. The E is for 8 or better, which means high or low. Might be Omaha. No, Hold'em, Omaha, Raz, Stud, and 8 or better. They got everything, man. But yes, the payouts here, $10 million up top. Everyone's guaranteed $1 million. And the other story out here, folks, that's remarkable is that this guy, Michael Mizrachi, so he just won the $50,000 Players Championship, which only has about 120 players or something like that. $50,000. How many people are going to play a $50,000 tournament? About 100 to 120. You get up to $100,000 to $250,000, and there's about 50 to 60 people that are playing those tournaments. And most of the time, people are either backed by rich backers that have the ability to invest in somebody that might have some crazy variance, because the variance is you just need tens of millions of dollars to be running those types of tournaments, even if you're profitable in the long run. But he just won his 4th World Series of Poker bracelet. He has 7 overall, and now he's at the main event final table. Michael the Grinder Mizrachi. And he made a name on the World Poker Tour and stuff like that. So you're going to have a final table that's going to create a lot of hoopla this year, which is interesting because you have him at the final table, one of the most notable personalities out there, and then you have a woman at the table for the first time since 1995. You're talking about 30 years, and really the first time since television poker blew up. And, it's a bummer that they don't have these still on ESPN. You think about, I don't know how that works. They have Poker Go, which is this subscription service that you can sign up for. But the real bummer in that is that I'm sure people out there remember when ESPN used to have the World Series on all the time, and that classic intro and Moneymaker and all this stuff, the amount of money they can make off ads supersedes anything that PokerGo is making off of. They sell subscriptions on a monthly basis or $99 for the year. And they do sell ads, of course, that are in there as well. But it's just a bummer when that type of reality show should be. It's great poker, folks. The mental battles that go on. Yeah. Hey, so they're playing for $10 million. They take a break today. The final table plays tomorrow, July 15th. They play down from 9 till 3 people, I think. And then they return at either 3 or 2 people to play the final heads up the next day on the 16th. All right. And yeah, we talk about the pressure on the Fed, just jumping around on airlines. This one from 2 days ago, right? The Fed quietly responds to Trump on the renovation, and then you go to the front page, and that you have Powell out here asking an inspector general to review the $2.5 billion renovation. Now, underneath that, you have, Hassett saying that he can be fired for cause. He can be fired for cause. I don't think anybody's arguing that. Now, who says cause, right? All that stuff as you get into this. And it is, this one I agree with, right? So they have total control for their building, is how things are laid out. And the idea that the Fed could print money and then spend a couple $2 billion on a building without real congressional oversight, it didn't occur to the people that framed the Federal Reserve Act. We've got a real problem of oversight and excessive spending. Those could totally be the case. The other side of that, though, is the costs that have gone up on any job that's been running this long. Okay, I think it bakes back to 2021, 2022. They've already responded. They don't put it in here. I'll give you a quick glimpse, folks. All right, I have one property in St. Pete. The costs right now are bonkers. We all know, okay? I have one property in St. Pete, and I was just getting a quote today for a patio that needs a little bit of a renovation in the back, okay? The patio probably needs 8 to 10 boards replaced. It's a large patio, and then pressure washed and sealed, okay? And the debris hauled away. You're not going to believe what this person quoted me. $6,680. So about $6,700. Now, I think that's an excessive quote. I think you go out there and you get some quotes. You're going to get a quote in the ballpark of $2,500, $3,000. Okay, almost $7,000 to fix a patio. Not to build me a patio. Okay, not to build me a porch. Almost $7,000. And when I said it was a high price and I wasn't interested, they didn't come down at all. They didn't balk. Nothing. Okay, no worries. Thank you. That was it. I said, who is paying $6,700 to have that type of work done? The costs have gone through tremendously. Lawn care right now, it's a battle across the board. And we know why it is, right? Costs are up through the roof. Employee wages are up too. They are up, man. People needed to live, and they are up. It's like the cost is always on people's minds, man. But it is up. Hey, we digress. But yeah, the Fed's in focus. Yields are going to be in focus right now. And the pressure is on, as the articles seem to write themselves over and over. But we got the 10-year right now at about 4.43%. Yeah, an interesting analysis by our man Steve Rhodes. Yeah. And hey, listen, you need dollars. That's what drives it, man. And there's a demand for dollars no matter what. But he's right. You don't comprehend it when everything stays the same locally, folks. But the move in currencies that we have had, okay, whether you take the lows out here, right, that we were chopping around near 75 from 121 in the year 2000, you accelerate all the way up to 115 when we were crushing the world, right? In terms of where we were the game in town, the Fed had hiked, we had extremely high yields, nobody else had hiked yet, the dollar was at 115, and this year alone, get to the daily, yeah, that's like a 10% drop in your buying power anywhere else on the dollar, and that's how you're pricing metals, that's how you're pricing our equities locally. One more segment, we'll come right back, folks.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter. A must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN. Educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. We have S&Ps up by 9 points, hanging in there with green territory after a tough open, and markets charge higher throughout the entire trading day. We opened at 62.80, and we're finishing near 63.09 right now. NASDAQ 100 up by about 0.3% right now as well. And yeah, we talk a little bit of Starbucks. So Starbucks out there saying, hey, employees, you coming back to work 4 days a week or take a payout. That's it. Their new CEO they brought over from Chipotle, and yeah, he wants employees back in the office 4 days a week to aid the company's turnaround. And yeah, they got a turnaround battle going on. Take a look at this thing. I believe this was the acceleration when he got hired. Talk about a little I mean, it's like no matter, you don't have to go through much history to learn much, folks. As in, you talk about overpricing expectations, right? He comes in CEO, and within 6 months, you trade from 73 to 120. Now you trade lower on the tariff volatility, you're back to $93. Put this thing on a daily. Yeah, that was the gap on the news, and that's where we sit right now. But yeah, they're coming back to work 4 days a week. What's remarkable is that he wasn't required to even live in Seattle, where the company is headquartered, right? Hey, do as I say, not as I do, says the CEO of Starbucks. To a certain degree, pretty remarkable, right? When he made that deal, part of it is that, hey, for what it's worth, man, Starbucks down by 1.7% right now, continuing to struggle. Not this market, though. We finished up with NVIDIA, down by 0.5%. Folks, thanks so much. Have a great Monday night, a safe Monday night. Have a great one out there, folks. We'll see you back here 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, morning market kickoff. I'll see you then. Thanks, folks.